It's the Defyant Ones right here. We got Vaughn Vertigo. Welcome to Defy. Welcome to the Defyant Ones. So yeah, man, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. Your first time in Defy. How did it go?
Good. I mean, my nipples got pinched.
Yes.
A couple times out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
First time in a match?
I figured to ask me first time my nipples being pinched. Definitely not. First time in a match? No, probably not.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's happened a few times in like 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. 10 years. Okay, so let's get the backstory, man. So,
Sure.
You're from Toronto.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So, what's your home promotion that people probably know you from?
So out in Toronto, Smash Wrestling, people probably know me from. Then other Canadian promotions in the area like C4 Wrestling. There's no one that I frequent. Barrie Wrestling, Destiny Wrestling. That's kind of the main.
There's a lot of wrestling over in Toronto.
There's like 30 promotions. 40
really?
Promotions in Ontario.
Wow.
There's
Thriving wrestling scene over there?
Thriving, yes, I would say so. Thriving as a wrestler, yes, but it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to draw more than like 200 people because there's so many promotions.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing. Whereas like C4 in Ottawa is like there's only like 2 or 3 promotions there, so C4 would always draw like 600, 700 people.
Cool.
Whereas Toronto's a little bit oversaturated.
Fair enough. So, your earliest wrestling memory as a kid?
Earliest wrestling memory, I was at my friend's house. And he had SmackDown on, and it was a Brock Lesnar Big Show match.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the one where they break the ring.
Okay.
I think I would remember that.
Sure.
But that was probably like 2003 or something. And then just kind of going through school, my best friend growing up, his aunt was Trish Stratus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
that's awesome.
So like, he'd always do these like speeches, because he had to do like speeches in school about his aunt, and I knew nothing about wrestling.
Yeah.
And then one day my friend rented SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Yeah. I'm scrolling through the character selection. Trish Stratus pops up. I'm like, is that your aunt? Like the one everybody says like is super hot?
Yeah.
That's your aunt? That's wild. And then I got like addicted to wrestling through SmackDown vs. Raw.
That's cool.
And then next thing you know, like I'm watching SmackDown Raw ECW like throughout 2007 and got addicted to it. And then Trish Stratus was at my grade 8 graduation.
Okay, so you met her.
I did, yeah,
That's
a few times.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
She got us
man.
front row tickets to Raw when she guest hosted.
That's
Toronto,
so cool.
She's the coolest.
That's awesome. So you got addicted to wrestling and stuff. Who was your guy?
I mean, back then, Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy, okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then once I started to like appreciate heels, it was like Edge.
Yeah.
Edge was my guy. I feel like that's probably obvious being a Toronto guy.
Yeah,
Christian
sure.
as well.
Yes,
But Christian's only getting his due now. He was the best forever. But yeah, kind of like Canadians I'd always supported.
Awesome, man.
Sure.
So, what kind of got you interested in actually doing it as a thing instead of just being a fan?
Well, as they say, don't try this at home, which meant try it at home.
Yeah.
So I went and started my own backyard wrestling promotion.
Okay, what was your name?
I was Vertigo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
and what was your
name.
promotion called?
We were KWF, the Kids Wrestling Federation.
Nice.
Which
Kids
turned into TWF, which we weren't sure.
Teens Wrestling Federation.
Well, it could be teens, but we weren't sure if it was also Trampoline Wrestling Federation.
Oh.
But my dad built like a whole wrestling ring around the trampoline with actual turnbuckles, with no padding, which was very unsafe. But God, was it so fun. I ran my own promotion. We did like 80 shows. I filmed everything, produced everything.
Whoa.
And like, it was just like the best time of my life. I did that until I started wrestling training when I was 14.
You started wrestling training at 14?
Yeah.
Okay, where'd you go?
I went to Squared Circle Wrestling in Toronto with Rob Fuego, who is trained by Ron Hutchinson, so he was in the same class as Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
kind of like a third generation of that era of people.
I'm assuming you were the youngest.
I was definitely the youngest.
Yeah.
I was youngest for quite a while, probably until I was like 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your parents were cool with you training at 14 years old? They were
Yeah,
just
I mean,
like...
I was never like really invested in sports or anything, so
Sure.
I think my parents were just very happy that I had an outlet of something to go to. Was my dad happy to drive me, an hour and a half into Toronto every weekend to wrestle? Probably not.
No.
Because he worked in the city
Sure.
5 days a week.
Yeah, it's like...
Another
one.
day.
Yeah.
To go out. But, it was just the best. Like, sometimes you'd show up and then the ring was being taken down, and you're like, where are we going? Oh, we got to go do a show. I'm
Wow.
like, oh, shit. Okay, I guess I'll tell my dad to go pick me up at this show. But it was the best, man. I got to, like, do merch for, like, Generico and Steen.
Wow.
And, like, a lot of, like, Canadians that I look up to.
That's cool, man.
Great.
First match, were you, probably pretty young? Did you have to wait a while?
I had to wait a while.
Okay.
Yeah, they really made me wait because I was so young and so skinny.
Yeah.
So my first match was when I was 17.
Okay.
For Squared Circle Wrestling, which was the home promotion.
Yeah.
Against Gabriel Fuerza, another wrestler out in Toronto.
That's awesome, man. Okay,
I
so...
was 17 by that point.
3 years under your belt and many more years of
3.5 years, and
wrestling.
it felt like forever.
Yeah.
I'm watching all these guys pass me by to get matches. I was like, I just want to wrestle.
Yeah.
So badly. They really made me work.
You were like a vet by the time you're 17, right?
I felt like it, but
Yeah.
you can't have that mentality.
But by that point, you probably felt pretty comfortable actually putting together a match, right?
I did, because I was also reffing. So
Yeah.
I got
cool.
in the ring, and I was, helping, just being in the audience, or not the audience, but in the ring as a ref helps so much.
Yeah.
So much for once you get out there, you just get comfortable with it.
So you went to school, and we were just talking off camera about this. You went to school for video production?
Yeah, I went to Humber College for television broadcasting videography.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do those, do you think that your interest in doing, backyard wrestling and stuff like kind of helped spur that on?
100%. I like to say that like I'm doing the exact same thing I did as a kid.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I was wrestling and making stupid videos with my friends.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm just getting paid to do the exact same thing.
Totally, man.
So.
That's all. So do you shoot your own wrestling promos and stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
All my promos are shot by myself, unless the camera's moving. Then I got to get somebody to help me out.
Of course,
I
yeah.
have people that I can rely on for that. But any promo like the one I did for Defy was shot by myself. Put up a black screen.
Yeah.
Have a Sony A7 III.
Yeah.
Put up the lights and everything. Yeah.
That's great, man. Do you have clients that you do video like? Oh, yeah. So you're a freelance videographer, and so you do mostly like high school like commercials and stuff.
Yeah, like promotions for like out in like Toronto, we have like grade 8 nights, so you get to see like the high schools.
Okay.
So kind of pick what high school you want to go to. So their videos promoting the high schools.
Sure.
A lot of that, a lot of real estate, a lot of tourism to like promote like smaller towns in the area, that sort of thing. And then here and there, I'll do actual like wrestling videos. I do like highlight reels for other people on on Twitter and whatnot, and X.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to weave it into as many things as I can, and it's great to have because it allows me to go to Europe for 2 months if I need to.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
How far into your career did you start really like traveling? Because you're here in Seattle now, but you also do a lot of wrestling abroad.
Yeah, I started going to UPW Rochester, which is a company that like Brody Lee was from.
Yeah,
it was about 3 hours away. Early on in my career, I was like 19. But crossing
was
the border
that
to America,
you taking the initiative, or
that
were
was
they
other
asking?
guys? Other guys were saying, "Hey, you should come do this," and I did that for about 2 years.
Yeah,
that was fun and all. But I kind of came to a point where I was like, I'm not really going to get any farther in Canada if I don't branch out and do something else.
Yeah.
And I was at a point where I just got out of college and I was thinking about getting a full-time job with a news station, or I could pursue wrestling, and that's what led me to going to
England. A news station, so like doing the morning news.
Yeah, Global News. Was the company,
Okay.
Yeah, in Toronto.
Wow.
I looked at that and I said, well, I got to give wrestling a shot. I knew some people through YouTube in England, reached out to them, went over to England, wrestled Kip Sabian in my first match in England.
That's big, yeah.
Wrestled.
What promotion?
That was for DOA Wrestling.
Okay.
Promotion I think they were in Ipswich or something at the time. I wrestled Elton Prince as well, who's in WWE as Pretty Deadly.
Oh,
one of
cool.
those guys as well.
Yeah.
So the first tour was really good, and then that just kind of led to more and more things, and I kind of went every 6 months until the pandemic.
Yeah. Wow, man. Have you ever considered living over there?
I thought about it all the time. It's just the cost of living is just insane.
Yeah.
And I know they have this, I'm sure you guys are familiar with like El Fantasma out here.
Oh, yeah.
Like he moved like, I think before he was 30 or after he was 30, but you can get a visa very easily
if
you're under 30. And I thought about it a few times, but I just thought about the cost of living. Like it would just be a huge expense for me. And I have like a good thing set up with my job and everything.
Yeah.
So I was content just going, for 3 months of the year.
Totally.
kind of thing.
So the UK, have you been to like Japan or, South America?
No,
or
I haven't
any place,
been,
like,
haven't been to Japan.
Mexico?
No,
not yet?
Just a lot of Europe.
Wow,
like
cool,
Denmark,
man.
Sweden,
That's awesome.
Germany, all sorts of countries, yeah.
Awesome, man. Any place there's like a bucket list that you want to travel to? Other than...
I mean, obviously Japan, I think, is a destination for everybody, which is something I'm looking for 2024. In terms of Europe, there's other countries like Spain that has like a really cool wrestling scene, and obviously Spain's gorgeous, so who doesn't want to go to Spain? Mexico for sure would be another one. I really just want to wrestle in like as many countries as I can.
Sure.
That's not like a huge goal of mine. I've done 11 now, so not too bad.
Yeah, dude. And so now that you fell in love with wrestling young, and you got into the WWE, WWF stuff, and grew up on that. Mm-hmm. But now I'm sure you're a student of the game. So who do you watch? Like, who are some maybe old school guys that you watch tape of, or people that are current? Like, who are some inspirations for you as far as wrestling goes?
I mean, I like a lot of like early 2000s, mid 2000s, like Ring of Honor,
Okay.
UBG and stuff like that. Obviously, Bryan Danielson is somebody that everybody looks up to, especially you guys here.
Sure.
Pac, Generico from that era, Adam Cole, just a lot of the guys from that era that I really look up to.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
Just kind of like that mid 2000s. Like,
Sure.
indie scene was like the shit.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so just a question out of left field, just to get to get to know you.
Yeah.
If you had an unlimited budget, money was not an issue, and you could hire any musician to make you a custom theme song, who would it be?
Oh my god. Well, if you could get them back together, it'd be Oasis.
Oasis. Okay, yeah.
Which I think would be
the Gallagher's.
a nearly impossible task.
Yes.
I would settle for just Noel or just Liam.
Yeah.
But if you could get both of them, that would be.
So you're a big
incredible.
Brit rock guy.
Big
You
Brit
love-
rock guy.
Okay.
I actually, one part of the reasons I come to Seattle is I'm a big like Death Cab for Cutie fan.
Okay,
As
awesome.
well, and Head and Heart, a couple bands from out here. So a lot of music I grew up on, I
Yeah.
found out was from like in the Seattle,
Absolutely.
Pacific Northwest
Yeah,
area,
yeah.
which is hilarious. But that doesn't work for wrestling. I'm not coming up
Sure.
with Death Cab for
Yeah. Dude, some Head in the Heart, theme
I love Head and
songs.
Heart,
Ooh,
but it
we're
just
kinda weird.
wouldn't quite work.
Right?
just rebrand, get Oasis back together.
Yes. What song?
Morning Glory.
Morning Glory. Okay.
I mean, my custom theme song is literally a ripoff of Morning Glory.
That's funny.
yeah.
Funny. So, the next couple years, what are some goals for you, man?
Definitely Japan would definitely be a goal for me. There's a few countries I want to hit in Europe, I was mentioning. And honestly, right now, my focus is, and part of being here is getting into the States more.
Yeah.
I've kind of stayed away from it. I looked at it as like kind of what Eddie and Jericho did in their career, where they kind of went all over the world.
Ventured outside.
They ventured outside before they kind of made this move to get into like ECW in their era and whatnot. So I'm kind of just trying to push into that like television wrestling world. So I want to get into America a little more, but being Canadian can be hard. I'm sure as you heard with like Speedball Mike Bailey and all the issues he had, but thankfully it looks like there's some openings in the future.
That's great, man. Yeah. That's awesome. So as far as being your first experience here at Washington Hall, Defy, how do you feel about it, man? How do you feel about Defy? What was it like as your first time here?
Awesome. That crowd is like so loud, and you hear it on you watch like a Nick Wayne match and you see the crowd and you listen to it, you're like, wow, yeah, they're pretty loud. But when you're out there, my God, they're loud.
Great venue, right?
Oh, great venue.
Yeah.
Great venue. I was so stoked to be able to do Washington Hall.
That's
I was
awesome.
happy I got to wrestle for Defyant Toronto, but I was like, it's just not the real thing.
Yeah.
I need the real thing. And I'm glad I got
That's
to
an
do
away show, you're a home show.
I need
now.
the home show.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, my last question for you, dude. You can show us if you can, but at least tell us. Pick a scar on your body and tell us the story of how you got it. And show us if you can.
Oh, I don't even know if it's like that apparent anymore. Oh, damn, it's not. You can't really see it. It's the stupidest thing. I don't know if you can zoom in. I think it's like here. It might be hard to see. Because it's like about, this is 2015. Want to take a guess how I got this scar? Do you think it was from wrestling? Can't really see it. It's like right here.
I don't know. Skateboarding? What, wrestling?
Well, skateboarding would be cool. I wish I could skateboard. It was from holding a koala in Australia.
Oh, nice.
He was sleepy and he just like scratched me.
Wow.
And yeah, that's how I got a really stupid scar
Brutal
on my body.
Koala.
Brutal koala.
love
He wasn't
it.
brutal. He was just very tired.
He is tired.
He just didn't want to be picked up.
Yeah.
So, I can't blame him. We all feel like that sometimes.
Well, Vaughn, man, thank you so much, and welcome to Defy. And
Yeah, man.
we're happy to have you back, and have a safe trip back to Toronto, brother.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Life at your